Hello guys, this is Dr. Lior Bar-El, and today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch's new game called WWE 2K18. Now first off, I was looking forward like crazy since the PlayStation Vita days, the PS Vita days, to play a wrestling game that is brand new on portable, okay? So I'm not a big fan of the 2K series and anything that they do, and the basketball games and any of that. I think that 2K is, I don't know, they're starting to be a little bit too shady for me, and I'm sure everybody, it's the same. I mean, a lot of you guys have been telling me the same thing. And he asked me to get this game, so I definitely pre-ordered it. As always, like I told you, I am definitely going to get games and stuff that you guys request me to get, just like I got the Nintendo Switch, even though I'm still telling you guys to wait on that. I'm doing this so you guys won't have to spend the money. So obviously you guys give me requests. I do my best. I work and I get them, and you know, nobody gives me anything, so I don't owe them anything. So I'm giving you the absolute truth and what I think and what I see and how I, you know, what my interpretation of it is when I'm playing the game or whatever. But right now this game did not come out in October 17th as it was supposed to come out. Okay, now a lot of you guys I know have been telling me, well, you know, probably because of the development of the game, it's taking longer. Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you guys something. I play usually the WWE 2K series on the computer because I just love the mods, the customizations, and all of that stuff, and the graphics on my computer over the PlayStation 4 or my, you know, over my Microsoft Xbox, you know, One or whatever. But the thing is, I'm not, you know, a fanboy of this game at all. I mean, I think it's getting better, but nothing like the THQ. But then the THQ went sour also. But anyways, I was looking forward to playing a wrestling game on a portable that was brand new. Obviously, the PS Vita failed, and all that I could play was the SVRs, which were great games, but they let you play the PSP versions, which kind of sucked. And I wanted like a brand new game with better graphics to come out for the, you know, for a modern day system. And obviously PS Vita flopped, and well, we'll have to see what the Nintendo Switch is gonna be right now. Now, this is the thing. Now, with Nintendo Switch, a lot of the things that are happening is they're releasing a lot of their games on, let's say, the 32 gig cartridges, which are freaking awesome, and it's coming out good. And they also know how to control, like Mario's like 5 point something gigabytes, Breath of the Wild is like 11. So they know how to utilize all of the you know, the important, you know, space that you have, where you don't need to buy SD cards and so on and so forth. The thing is with the third-party AAA games, and this is why they had a big problem with the Wii U, there's not, you know, a game developer has to say, you know what, let me see if this is worth it for me, okay? So first off, here I am going to be producing a game. So I'm not blaming exactly 2K for thinking like this, or any third-party title, which I'm sure there's going to be many now that are going to require to do something, which I'm going to go over. But I don't blame 2K for thinking this, because for thinking what I'm about to tell you, okay? Let's say I'm a game developer, all right? I'm developing games. These games are going to give me a good name or a bad name, right? So I'm releasing these games for the PlayStation 4, for the Xbox One, and they're top quality in terms of graphics and all that good stuff, right? All right. Now, I want to release it on the Nintendo Switch. I really want to do it badly. But unfortunately, due to the onboard memory, system memory, okay, I don't know how much gigs anybody else has. I don't know the future of the Nintendo Switch. So I want to play it safe. So am I going to go for the 32 gig cartridges? Absolutely not. They went the cheap route and went for the 16 gigabyte cartridges, which, by the way, a lot of the AAA games I'm willing to bet are going to do this, because already the 2K series did it, and already some other game, I forgot what it was called, but if you buy the physical copy, it's okay. Something like that. The thing is, it's kind of screwed up for us Nintendo owners, you know, Nintendo Switch owners, because what happens is we get these cheap carts. Now, I understand. Let me just tell you this. So they're saving money because they want to play it safe. So in case this thing doesn't come, you know, doesn't look good or doesn't do, you know, on the shelves, it's not making enough sales, they're not wasting a lot of money. So it's not about development, really, because the game is already, I'm sure, developed. It's just like the PC version that used to come out later on in the year. Microsoft and Sony are the first ones that are going to get dibs on it. So they're going to release it at around December something. Some people say December 13. GameStop says something else. I don't know. The point is I pre-ordered it. So we're going to see. I'm going to give you guys a full-on review about it. But so far, what we do know is on the Nintendo site already, okay, on Nintendo.com, you could check it out. Right here it says a micro SD card is going to be needed and is required to download. Okay, even though you have the physical copy, it's required to download, let's say the NBA 2K18. It's going to be required to download also for the WWE 2K18, the same thing. It's going to be required to, with 5 gigabyte save files, and it's going to be required to download like a certain amount of it, and you could see it on their site. They're going to tell you about it. So what happened was with the 2K18, the fact that they did that actually caused, I believe, a lot of stuttering in the game. Now, I do game developing, so I know exactly how it works. And when you are trying to, even if you have a fast memory card, when you're constantly skipping between system memory and, card memory, you're going to have issues. Now, if you do it straight up from the system memory, no matter how fast your card is, the fastest is going to be the system memory. But since the system storage is so shitty on the Nintendo Switch, you're forced to put, to go between cartridge, which cartridge is the fastest, but between cartridge to a SD card. And that little swap could cause problems and stuttering and so on and so forth. Games out of sync, like in NBA 2K18, as you clearly saw. So the same thing's going to happen, my guess, is on the WWE 2K18. My advice, people, is to wait on this game and not pre-order it. You're not getting anything except, I think, Kurt Angle. But believe me, later on they'll probably even include him. The thing is, I don't recommend it. It's just not worth it. Because if you're going to get a half-assed game like NBA 2K18 with stuttering and out of sync and all of that, and you're paying $60 for the game, that's ridiculous. Buy it for the computer. Buy it for your PlayStation 4. Buy it for, your Xbox One. You're going to have a much better time. Now, there are already limitations to this game. Okay? the graphics are going to be dumbed down. There's no doubt about it. Whether it's docked or not, it's going to be dumbed down. Either a little blurry on the, portable unit, on the docked unit, it's going to be clearer. But it's still going to be dumbed down. Okay? There's going to be some, if you look at the NBA 2K18 footage, you'll see between the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, they look great, and then when they go to the Nintendo Switch, they look more stretched. It could be because of the form factor of the actual, screen size or whatnot, or the resolution or whatever, to better it, but you could tell that it's dumbed down. It still looks good, but it's dumbed down. So it's the same thing's going to happen to this. Instead of 8 wrestlers, we already know that they're going to cut it down to 6, which I have no issue with because the prior, when I was playing on the computer, playing 6-man, was fine. I don't mind that on, 3-on-3 or whatever. So I don't really mind that. The thing is this game going to live up to its expectation? Now, portability is awesome. I would love to play it. When I had the PSP, I played a portable version. Yes, the graphics were dumbed down, but guess what? The games ran perfectly. There were no problems with the games. There were no stuttering with the games. It was what it was. Now, if you're going to play this shit, and it's going to come out stuttering like the 2K18 NBA 2K18, and it's going to stutter and be out of whack, that game is not going to be an enjoyable experience at all. Whether you're portable, whether you're docked, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to suck. Okay, now this game, 2K needs to understand that, a lot of people think maybe they were rushing it out. They're not rushing it out. They're playing it safe. But at the same time, they need to understand that they might as well not release this game at all because this is going to make them look like shit. Because right now, I think most of the people on 2K, even for the home systems, are having a problem with the 2K, the company of, 2K. So, the ones that do NBA 2K or whatever. So that's the major problem right now. It's about a trust thing with 2K. Now, the Nintendo Switch on its own, it's a great system. I do think that they should have had, more storage, onboard storage, to come with the unit than the, especially when you're trying to market a portable unit. You kind of don't want to market cartridges. You want to make it as digital as possible. Now, even if you wanted to market it as cartridges, make sure that everybody is on par, that they're going to need to, you know, buy a cartridge and screw the downloads and just make it, you know, virtual consoles on downloads or whatever. I personally like both, the option to have both. But the thing is, if I were to take a cartridge and I was guaranteed a great experience without swapping or anything like that, that would have been great. But the fact that it goes from cartridge to, SD, micro SD, that little swap, that little time between, between that signal is what's causing stuttering. I do believe that because I know how these systems work. So I don't see that this is going to be any better now that they're saying that you're going to need to have a micro SD card, which is sold separately, and it's going to have saves and it's going to have all that, but also you're going to have to install a bulk of the game on the SD card, which is ridiculous. When you're buying a physical copy, I just don't see how this is going to be an enjoyable experience. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, look what happened. They were supposed to come in October 17th, but it makes sense. There's no footage, no nothing. Exactly, guys. There's no footage of the game, and there's a reason for that. Because the game is probably playing like shit. Okay, there's a reason they're not putting it out there. It's because it's probably playing like crap. And even if they show you, like they showed footage afterwards of the 2K18, it was running smoothly, they didn't show the stuttering. They didn't show the problems. What the fuck is going on? So right now, 2K is playing it smart. I do know that they're doing a smart thing in terms of going for the 16 gig cartridges because it's cheaper, and they want to see how the Switch does, and probably the next one, 2K19, when they come out with that, they'll probably be more confident in investing more money in the product. But so far, this game itself, I say wait for 2K19 and purchase this for the home systems, because I'm willing to put money on it. I'm willing to bet that this game is not going to be an enjoyable experience. Now, we're going to see. I obviously pre-ordered it. It's coming in December something, whenever the fuck it's coming out. I'm going to be doing a full-on review, and I'm going to be showing it to you. So be sure to definitely subscribe to the channel to see all of that goodness. But most likely, guys, I'm letting you know that I don't think anybody should pre-order this game because I just am not confident to tell you to go ahead and purchase. Now, guys, I'm honest with you guys. But it's kind of hard to be honest when you don't have the game in front of you. You understand what I mean? But based on the experience of NBA 2K18, I can tell you, that any game that's going to require you to install a bulk of the game on an SD card, that little swap is going to have some lag. That little swap is going to cause problems, as you clearly saw in NBA 2K18, where they were completely out of sync. So I don't think I'm confident enough to tell people to go ahead and get this game right now. I'm giving you my honest opinion. I think you should hold off to it. Another thing is, when you're paying for an expensive system, like right now with the tax, it came out to $418 for the Odyssey package that I'm going to be unboxing for y'all. It's a lot of money. Now you're going to go and invest in a freaking power card for you're going to need at least 256 gigs. I'll tell you that for all the games, the AAA games that they're requiring you now to install bulks of it on that. You're going to need about 256. That costs a shit ton of money. It's about $200, guys. Even the 128s are costing about $60, $70, $80. That's a lot of money to put extra on top of a system, granted, we all knew that the SD cards were going to be a thing that they were going to come out with. And I'm willing to bet that those cartridges eventually are going to get cheaper, but when you're looking at a lifespan of a video game console, it's anywhere from 2 years to 4 years, right? I don't see within 2 years that they're going to lower down a 32 gig cartridge to the cost of what a 16 gig cartridge costs right now. So I think we're going to see a lot of these developers, these AAA developers, that are going to go, and I'm willing to bet Skyrim is too. I can't find anything on that, but I'm willing to bet that's going to be probably another one that does it. But what I think that they're actually going to do these little splits with 16 gig cartridges, and then switch over to everything on an SD card, which you could buy it all probably on a digital download on an SD card and probably get better run. I don't know, guys. I'm not guaranteeing it. Now, the thing that's good, and we're going to get into that, about the plug and play memory, they didn't solder it in. on the Switch. So maybe one day there'll be third-party developers who will release something like a 256 gig card of internal memory that you guys could, put into your system. Remember, you could just open it so easily. The Nintendo Switch opens up very easily, as you can see in other YouTubers who have done that. You could clearly see that their memory, their internal memory, is plug and play. So maybe you could remove it and put in another one. And I'm really hoping that somebody develops that. They'd be making a shit ton of money if they did that. And I think that would be amazing. The only thing is, I don't see that. I'm seeing every developer, they're going to be developing packages that are going to require an SD card, and they're going to require the cartridge. That when you purchase the cartridge, I just don't see it as within 2 to 4 years that they're going to lower the price down. Maybe 4 years, but I don't know how long the Nintendo Switch is going to last for. I'm sure that most of these developers don't know as well. They're a little shaky over it. This is exactly what, I don't know how they can release it with 32 gigs, Nintendo Switch. How could they do that when the Wii U, they released it? And, this is the thing. When you're a third-party developer, you design your games based on the storage of the system. You can't guess and say, this dude here is going to have 200 gigs. This one here is going to have 32 gigs. You have to do it according to the what you think the majority are going to have. Not everybody's going to be so quick to spend money, right, on memory cards. A lot of the people that have purchased the Nintendo Switch, a lot of it is people from my generation. I'm 38 years old, but also a lot of them are kids. Kids can't go out and spend another $200 on a freaking memory card. Even if I was a kid right now and I had that money, I would have to decide between a memory card or a game. I'm going with a video, with a game by Nintendo that knows how to utilize it. The problem is we're walking on very muddy waters right now, because if we don't support third party, it's going to end up being like the PS Vita, where everybody just says fuck you to like Sony abandoned it. I'm willing to bet Nintendo will eventually abandon it if they're not going to get enough people buying the systems, which they are right now, and it's going well. But I think right now third party systems, because they are doing things based on the limitations, what's going to happen is a lot of the customers are going to boycott these games. They're not going to like it, especially when they see that these companies are cheapening out because they're scared and they're coming out with half-assed games. Nobody's going to want to buy these games anymore. And guess what? The third-party developers are not going to make games for those systems anymore. You understand? So this is what I mean by muddy waters, guys. We are, I don't see the Nintendo Switch lasting unless they have some kind of quality control where they could at least make the cartridges cheaper, or the licensing perhaps cheaper for the developers to develop games and do stuff like that on the cheap. Then these developers are not going to be so cheap about it. They're not going to be so scared. They're going to see that it's a smaller investment to go, and you could give people a better experience. So everybody that owns the Switch will love it so much that they'll take it portable and probably buy it on computer or PlayStation 4 or Xbox. It'll actually be like a promoting thing. They could see how that thing operates and try to release better games out for the system. But if I'm a developer right now and I see that the majority of the people that have this system has 32 gigs, I got to design it based according to that. And I can't do that. So I'm saying, okay, so either I come out with a real shitty game that's going to look like crap, or come out with a game that looks at least, a little bit good, but it's going to have some stuttering problems and syncing problems. And this is where we get into muddy waters, because that's exactly what happens. Because they're terrified. It's not because they're just cheap. They're terrified. Every company wants to make sure that they get a return on their investment. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we all do. That's why we go to work. We're trying to make money. Or when we sell things on eBay and we try to turn it over for a profit, we're all trying to make some money here, right? So when we invest, we expect a good return. Now, if you're not going to expect a good return, or you're scared about it, you got to be really careful with your investment. You're going to go with the cheap, especially if Nintendo is offering a 16 gig cartridge option. You're going to go with the cheap and say, let me see how this goes. And if it's great and it does great in sales, next year we're going to come out with maybe, the 32 gigs. The thing is, it's a stupid idea, because that's not smart. And if they understood the technology and how it works, if they release these kind of systems, these kind of games that are going to be half-assed like that, nobody's going to want to purchase the next game. And this is what, lack of sales, it's like we're screwed either way. Whether we buy the games and then we boycott them, or we buy the games and realize they suck and never buy the next one after, Either way, when the sales are down, the AAA games are going to stop coming in. If Nintendo doesn't fix this, you know, by making these things a little bit more affordable, maybe they're licensing a little more affordable, which we all know they charge a shit ton of money for that. So, because of that, it might be the death of Nintendo Switch, and actually might be the end of the Nintendo Switch if they continue on with these practices, because there's not going to be any quality left, or people are going to just end up buying, what, you know, first party games like Mario's and stuff like that, and it's going to end up being another Wii U. You understand? And I love the Wii U, and I love Nintendo, and you know, I grew up on Nintendo. So I had the first NES. I come from that generation, and I loved it. And I loved the first NES. These guys were so brilliant in their business and their marketing and everything that they did, and they were able to charge an arm and a leg for their licensing. But right now they cannot do this anymore, because they're not at the level that they were in the 80s. They're just not. In the 80s and 90s. They're not at that level. Right now, they're playing safe, and so are the other companies. The other companies are playing safe too. That's why there's a shortage of Nintendo Switches. They didn't think that they were going to make a good return. They checked it out. Now they're seeing it was way over what they expected. So they're playing it safe too, but at the same time, other companies are as well. And because of that, this is going to probably be the death of the Nintendo Switch. If they have to see that they're getting already a great return, start to lower your damn fucking prices on the cartridges or on the licensing. And then there will be more developers that will develop the games and put it on a 32 gig cartridge, and the games are going to be way better. They're going to look better, they're going to sound better, and they're going to be much greater. So I know some of you guys are like, well, we want to get the SD cards. We don't care. We're getting them anyway. You know, you shouldn't enforce a business practice like that, but go ahead and do that. I have one. I have an SD card. It's not about that. It's about how it goes from one to the other. I don't see it being good. There's going to be stuttering issues, as already NBA 2K18 already has that issue. So I don't see another 2K game who's doing the same kind of practice going to all of a sudden be well. Already they're saying it's going to be 30 FPS. Okay, so 30 FPS, I don't see it constant on 30 FPS on a wrestling game. I don't see it being, it's already slowed down from 60 FPS to 30, which is no problem. I mean, you know, when you're playing on handheld mode, it doesn't really make a difference. But if you're getting stuttering on top of 30 FPS, guys, you're going to have major issues. This is not going to be an enjoyable experience. I can almost guarantee it. So my advice, do not pre-order this game at all. Make sure that you don't pre-order the game. And when it comes out, look at the reviews, look at the videos, look at everyone's reviews, but go ahead for the honest reviews. Come on my channel, because I don't get these games for free. They're going to come on my channel. I'm going to give you guys the honest review. You guys are going to be able to see everything. And you guys will be, you know, able to judge for yourselves. I'm going to tell you, you know, like I always do, the honest review, honest everything. And if it sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks. If it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. Okay, but so far, I'm not even seeing games right now on the Nintendo Switch lowering their price from $60 to $40 even. Okay, so I'm willing to bet that this game, even if you wait, I'm not going to tell you to just wait until the price goes down. I'm telling you to wait to see the quality, if it's worth it or not. Okay, that's what I'm saying, because I don't see these games going down. I think it's like Nintendo is stuck on a price. They're stuck on a price. Again, they're playing it safe, but they're being really cocky about it, when right now they should really try to get their customer loyalty, especially after the Wii U, and try to get the loyalty of the AAA, you know, Bethesda, all of these people who believe in that system. You don't want to see them running away. Give them a good, you know, because they themselves, when they're going to see that they're releasing games that people don't like, and it's actually causing them sales in the big systems, because people are not going to want to purchase it, you know, or whatever, or they're going to boycott it. Like if a person buys it for Nintendo Switch and then says, I can't believe, like already I'm hearing YouTube rants about them blaming 2K and blaming other third-party games that are going to come out that are possibly going to have the same kind of structure. They shouldn't blame them. They should blame strictly Nintendo, because it's Nintendo that's doing this. If they lowered the prices of their licensing or lowered the prices of the cartridges, we would get the best games ever, and they would earn not just their fans' loyalty, but they would also earn, you know, the AAA developers, you know, loyalty. And remember, in the end of the day, that's really what comes. It's not how many systems you sell. I mean, Microsoft took a huge loss in their systems in the first Xbox, but they made their games strictly off. They made their money strictly off the games. And that's how every system really is. You make your money off the game. So the most logical thing to do is to try to release a cheaper licensing, and then make your percentages off the games, from the game sales. And that's basically what you could do. You could just charge based on percentage of the game itself, or something like that, or lower the licensing, lower the price of the cartridges, of the 32 gig cartridges. And that's it. I think that would be great, for them to do something like that. But unfortunately, until they do that, I just don't see a future for the Nintendo Switch at all, unfortunately, because once the AAA games are going to come out, all they're going to have is first-party games, and it's going to be another Wii U, and it's only a matter of time before that crashes. And that's what becomes a big problem. Like when you have something like the 3DS, you're still going to get a lot of development for it, because, it's already what's expected. The games are not going to be as good as, a console. So they already know what to do. They already know to fall within what line. They already know what's included. They already know what's, what the cartridge is, what the size is. They could develop games for it easy. But what they can't do is do it for a home system like this. That is a novel idea, and I know that in the end, Microsoft and Sony are going to probably perfect it. Sony, I think they're out of the game, but Microsoft might release, you never know, a handheld system. Right now, Nintendo is the only one with the handheld system. And I'm not just talking about the 3DS. I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch. Once that thing goes out and somebody else comes in, most likely everybody's going to go to whatever comes out by Microsoft or Sony if they decide to jump in the game. No one is going to go back to Nintendo, because they're going to know that all they're going to release is, which I find enjoyable, the first-party games, but I would like to see third-party games on it too. If I'm seeing baby games all day long, and I love Mario, and I love all of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I think is the best game they have, and that's great, but I'm not going to buy a game system just for a couple of games. That's beyond stupid. I'm doing that. When you invest in a system, you want to invest in something that you can play other games, and you're expecting future games to be just as great. And if you're having AAA titles like Skyrim, or NBA 2K series, or WWE 2K series, or any other third party, and it's going to run like crap, we have an issue. And that's not going to be an enjoyable experience, and therefore that's a bad investment, because most likely these developers are not going to like the output, especially when everybody's giving them negative feedback from it. And what's going to happen is it's going to cost them sales, and they're going to realize that it's not worth to make games for this system anymore. And once that happens, it becomes a Wii U, and this system is garbage and failed and not worth a dime. You're going to end up selling that crap on eBay. So guys, my advice, do not, I repeat, do not pre-order the game at all. Do not do that, because I just don't see the fact that they said that it's going to need a memory and all of that stuff. I just don't see in the future I could see kind of in the future, I guess, that it's not going to be a great game at all. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm hoping they prove me wrong. But, just to be on the safe side, $60, guys. If it was cheaper, I would say go for it. But $60, I don't recommend you pre-order it. So anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Definitely subscribe to the channel, as I'm going to do a full-on review once that damn game comes out. And I'm going to give you guys the honest reviews. Definitely subscribe, make the channel grow. I want the channel and the community to grow so we could talk about things, and definitely comment. Comment and let me know what you guys think. I cover an array of things on my channel, but this one especially, I want to make sure that pretty much in any gadget that I review, I want to make sure that, you guys don't spend your hard-earned cash on something that some idiot is marketing because he's getting paid for it, like other YouTubers out there are doing. So definitely look in this channel, look down here, get back to me, and definitely comment. Let me know what you guys think. I definitely want to know about that. Maybe I'm reading into it wrong. Maybe something, I'd like to hear what you guys, if you agree, you disagree, let me know what's what. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.